I ain't scared you motherfuckers. My question for you then.
Yeah.
Since it's such a new culture, when does it stop evolve? Like, because like, you know, other cultures, like, is it? I don't want to like hinder them.
Are you saying like? Because I think I know you're going. Cut me off if I'm wrong. Other cultures get cemented.
Yes. So when does ours stop molding? Because like I feel like a culture gets leached too much to concrete itself as something specific.
Go ahead.
I honestly think that it's gonna be a long time, because let's think about in our current Black community, there are still arguments on what's acceptable in the culture. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just talk. You can just talk about music, but I'm not gonna just stay there because I don't want to turn it into a music podcast. But the type of music that's played, it's as another type of music comes out, it gets ripped apart automatically, it gets hated. Type of fashion is constantly gets bidden. So anytime we recreate, it gets stolen. So I don't think it's gonna be hard. Even Black History Month, we had a podcast about it later where we were like, someone's like, yay for it. The other like, man, what's the point of it? So I think in order for our culture to get cemented, we all have to agree on certain things as a culture. But it's so hard because going back to Brendan, we're so divided all the time.
And I just wanted to say that it's even now, stuff that is okay in our culture now wasn't okay 10 years ago.
No.
You know what I mean? Like being a Black nerd, that's cool now. That was not cool.
It wasn't.
5 years ago, it was barely okay. Like, you know, and so we're still in the process of evolving. But like IbeFriction said, it's difficult because every time we do something, it gets taken, it gets flipped, and it loses its origin with us, and it becomes something else, and then we try to do something else, and then like that's our, you know, that's the cycle.
Yeah, like
we don't have anything like what's concrete with us? Cookouts? You know what I mean? Like what's concrete with us?
And I can't even say that's concrete because
you know
Hispanics do it all the time.
Yeah,
like,
so I mean, like, you know, we don't have anything that we can confidently claim as ours, because we're going to have all these other people come out who are more listened to and more trusted than us and say that, no, this is our thing.
And not to bite IbeFriction, like I said, we had music, but that's been
it gets
that's been
mangled
stolen,
like
mangled,
no other.
and all. Yeah.
Music and whatnot has been stolen and all of and everything, but I feel the Black culture as a whole hasn't been cemented, but sections of it have been cemented, because and which is normally entertainment, because if you date back any form of entertainment that has something to do with Black culture, it dates back to people know what Motown is. Def Jam Records has been cemented.
I give you that.
Death Row Records has been cemented. The comedy change has been cemented.
We are known
around Richard Pryor. Like,
I would say that we are known, like when it comes to like comedy, music, entertainment. And you know, but I feel a little dirty for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we are cemented in entertainment, but also
because we're entertaining.
Yeah.
But you can't even say that though either, because that's just history, musical history in general. Because you have a lot of people, younger people now, who don't respect Death Row, or but they don't think that music has any it's not good at all. They don't remember that. If you ask anyone younger than us, maybe 18 and lower, to name 3 people on Motown, they wouldn't have any
idea what it is.
Any idea how to name anyone on Motown.
In the younger generation. But in the younger generation, you are correct.
Because my question would be for you. My question would be for you, right? You're naming Motown to other bands. Can you name anything prior to that? No, because like jazz, black jazz. Let me finish. Black jazz was very big. Can you name 3 black jazz?
I can't.
artists?
Can I answer?
No.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean?
Off the top of my head, I cannot name 3 big jazz bands.
I
can't.
No, just either artists or just musical.
Wait,
but
to
that's,
go
I'm
off
not
of what
talking
you're
about.
but to go off of what you're saying, it's shush.
Muddy Waters.
To go off what you're saying, that was Cadillac Records. What's your
No, he asked about jazz.
I said jazz in general.
No, I'm saying wasn't Muddy Waters with Cadillac Records? That's
No, but
Cadillac
jazz.
I'm saying jazz like back in the day.
But no, what
it's
I'm-
blues.
It's blues.
Oh. Okay, but anyway, no. So what I'm
Okay.
saying about what you're the direction it seems like you're going in is more on a historical part, and I get what Ego is saying because history I feel like can't equal culture. Like I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old you are, new generation, old generation. Any Hispanic person that's deep within their heritage knows what a quinceañera is. You know what I mean? Like that's history.
No,
No,
that's
but
practice.
that's
That's
practice.
practice and culture.
That's something
Kids to
that
this
they
day
do.
still do this.
It has an origin, yes, but that is something that is continuously done.
Passed down.
It's passed down.
Day of the Dead.
And look, this. I'm not
We
saying
don't have a Motown Day.
I'm not. We don't have a Motown Day. We don't have
We
things
don't have
like
a Death
that.
Row Day.
You are right.
No,
but
we get
you
Black
know-
History Month. We have roots.
But you know what we do have though. Certain record labels like Death Row or whatever else, other black record label, have passed down music that has constantly been reused. People are constantly sampling. Sampling is a really big thing, and it's always been used.
I think,
and that's what I'm saying as far as passing down. The sound might change.
I would think so. You're talking about stuff that's being passed down through. Okay, but I think a better word that may help is tradition. We don't have with your music. There's nothing passed down as a tradition.
No.
So it's like but
Right. Tradition is a better
we
word.
have no tradition that is for us that's been passed down that we know for our culture.
Yeah, because
No.
what you said,
No.
everything you named is within your bubble, where you can reach back and remember those things based off of the stuff that our parents thought was popular. But we know you didn't name anything you thought your grandparents thought was popular, and that bubble is going to keep shifting as we get older.
I think
Because
My grandparents thought Dolly Parton was popular.
because my kids are going to know Tribe and Rakim and KRS-One.
Yeah, the
and
same
stuff
way my
like
grandma
that.
had me know the Supremes. And
But they're not.
stuff
But
like
they're
that.
not gonna know about Buddy
Supreme.
Guy. They're not gonna know Buddy Guy. They're not gonna know Neil Armstrong. They're not
And
gonna know Bessie White. They're not
They
gonna know
are
those
though.
people.
You know why they're gonna know?
How?
Because your kids are gonna get curious about the music when they listen to it, and when they listen about the music and they hear that sample in the background, they're gonna know where
They're
that
not
came
gonna
from.
know it's a sample.
They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know it on jump.
And wait, I know. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I'm gonna let you go. It made me think of them currently. I don't say in the last like maybe 5 years. There's a trend where they have people listen to music, and they have no idea what it is.
No, and they don't. You're right.
But they don't-
Kids, they don't know who the old music is.
No, but they don't look for it either.
They don't look for samples.
Yeah.
We did because our parents played the samples.
So we heard it.
So we heard the samples. We heard the samples before we heard the song. So when we heard the songs, we knew, oh, okay, this was sampled from that. But that's situational. Not everybody is doing
People
that.
had no idea Meg Thee Stallion's BITCH was a Tupac sample. They didn't know.
Because he drank.
Oh, that's like the busted trend. People was like, oh, Nelly was biting off of this girl. And it's like, whoa.
And it's I'm not saying that there's a particular way that they're gonna find out, but they're gonna find out, especially with
But
much social media. Just like you said, they thought Nelly was biting, but eventually they found out
But Suchi-
that okay, she sampled this from Nelly.
But Sushi, I feel like the only way that's gonna find out is if you raise your kids to be musically inclined, though, because
Musically curious.
because on their own, no one's gonna figure that out. The only reason, and I even point to me as like from studying music for so long. The only reason I found out was because I was deep diving into different music. So at a certain point in time, I encountered it or I looked it up. But an average person that really doesn't care about theory or anything or is a musician themselves, they're not gonna just
Yeah.
look that
If
up
your
on their own.
parents weren't
To be-
playing the other music,
To be honest, this is exactly the way that I found out as far as the sampling and the history of music and stuff like that. Because
but you're a musical person. The average person
it's not
isn't.
about me being a musical
And
person.
but
no,
I'm
but
trying
that
to tell
has-
you how it happened.
Hold on though. Even when you found out that stuff out, what'd you do with that music? The sampled music you found.
I either went back and put it in my list of things, or if I didn't care for it, then I just ignored it.
But and that old music, how often do you listen to it?
Every so often, not like every day.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
taking shots at you because I don't listen to Izzy Buzz every fucking
what I'm
day.
saying.
Yeah,
but like,
neither do I.
that stuff won't survive.
yeah,
Even best case scenario, even if you're right and they figure it out,
What?
that music's not gonna survive because he's mad because I'm listening to Icy Brothers every day. When's the last time you listened to Between the Sheets?
Like 2 days ago.
You don't want to.
I'm the wrong.
Like 2 days ago. No, like we listen to that like all the time.
I am the wrong
but that's
sample.
us.
Oh my god, I hate this nigga.
IbeFriction's playlists are very refined.
Yeah.
They're very refined.
We're musically bougie.
Like all I'm saying, like for me, the way I found out, like even if you don't put that in your playlist, now you know. But the way that I found out is because I would have a song in my head that I heard, and then like you said, someone older would play a different version of the song, but I would end up saying the words to the version that I
just
knew.
really feel like you just pootie tang me because
Yeah.
this is exactly
I'm-
what I
Look,
said.
let's
But that's what I'm saying. That's why it
let's
has
just
nothing to do with
agree-
me being musically inclined
let's
or
just agree to
anything
disagree.
like that.
And go back to his other point though about like being connected. So like me and Brendan like have very similar interests, and he had a different
Surprisingly.
but
It's that school
but
system.
it goes back to the difference between us is that he felt like he was like disregarded by the black community, where I felt similarity through fighting, right? So I spent a lot of time in the suburban schools. My mom moved to the suburbs, but I would do after school programs in the hood at Family Dynamics, and so I had to figure out how can I be more black around these kids, not being around black people all day. You know what I mean? And so what I found was I just had to fight them. That was my connection to being black. That made me less white because I threw hands at those kids. You know what I mean? So I found a blanket. It's crazy.
It's crazy because it's real.
Because
like,
I mean,
moving from Hammond to Gary, that was the first thing I ran into was people wanting to fight me.
Yeah.
Like,
because like if I go to school like, oh, I like Pokemon cards, and these kids are heating me, my only response to make them show them that I'm black
It's the
What's
vibe.
the fight?
is violence, which is sad that our culture responds so highly to violence. But that was my
Well, I mean,
and-
is it?
I'm-
We come from slavery. That was our upbringing. You think about generational trauma. That's how we were taught, through violence. You know, you got beat, you had to, or they made you fight.
The buck fighting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so like when just as it transforms, it turns into us being forced to doing it. So that's just what we did because that's what we're used to doing.
you know what's crazy? As bad as this is gonna sound, it kind of helped out because people complain about stuff all the time and are very super sensitive about things. Like, when is the last time you've had a conversation with somebody else of a different culture or listen to their conversation and them talk about the last time that they've been robbed or something violent happening to them? It doesn't happen. The problems are so much, I don't want to say minute because then that puts the other person's problem down, but it's not. It's two different issues.
Not as aggressive.
Hispanic cultures. They're very similar in that aspect with us.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, you're right, Suchi, because when I you know, as listening in this short 30 seconds of talking is yeah, when it comes to violence and fighting, we wear that with pride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because me even sitting here just thinking, I'm like, man, I was very proud when I started like doing martial arts. I was very proud of fighting, and then even in my senior year of high school, like so at my senior year of high school, everyone knew I did martial arts, and I was able to walk around with a UFC glove and a gi top, and was not ridiculed because it at all. Which I look back on this day like, man, I would have roasted I would have dusted me verbally. Like, who's this Ryu? Like, I mean, I was thinking of jokes to myself, but
That's a Kuma looking nigga.
I mean, bro, I mean, so much content. You're asking for it this time, but
Nobody said nothing.
nobody said nothing, and I don't know why.
Well, but because
Like, is it
being a fighter was a cool thing. Young black men, you fight, and you're not just throwing hands. Like, you know how to fight. You know what I mean? And so it's like, no. And then of course I'm not finna make fun of you, nigga. You know how to break bones and all kind of stuff.
The fear that's not the fear of it. Getting, because the thing is like the getting knocked out isn't the part that's scary with people. It's the ridicule that happens after it.
Mm-hmm.
The isolation. That's what people are afraid of in the black community because, you know, if I never got challenged to a fight in the hallway with just me and another nigga walking past each other. It's always in crowded areas. It's always where people can see it. It's always where people can like
Document
Yeah, I
it.
feel
document
like
it.
private fights are the worst.
Or
because you know
stop
they're
it.
serious.
Or stop. Yeah, private fights. That's different. That's a whole different
Bathroom
type
fights.
of fight.
Man, because like, they like,
10-minute fight.
I'm finna F you up.
Like, yeah. That that 3 minutes of just holding each other to catch your breath. And you pushing they got your shirt up in your neck. Let me go, nigga. No, you let me go.
You let go
nigga.
first. All right, let go. You go, little man. I'll tell you. All right, man. Y'all, somebody eventually break it, man. Break it up, y'all. All right. I was done anyway.
You lucky, nigga. You lucky. Lucky. Flow slippery, nigga. But like, you know, people.
Go back to class. Go back to class. Collar hanging down by your nipple.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
But like fear is it's just like there's a comfortability that came for me when I learned how to fight. That I was almost like, I can breathe now. I don't have to fight. Almost like I don't have to fight anymore because I know how to fight so well. And like I can leave this presence off of me. You know what I mean? And like unfortunately, people don't always read the present. Like, did you guys see that Ohio State football player who got into a fight in the bathroom at some club? He tall dude, white boy, was drunk and he got into a fight with this kid that had to be like 5'7", 5'8". And he was just talking shit, and the kid was just laughing. You know, wasn't really just washing his hands, not really giving him any tooth. And he muffed him, and the kid lost his shit, suplexed him in the bathroom, smashed his face in, broke his jaw and his eye socket. So now he's missing the rest of the season. But like, he wasn't the aggressor. He wasn't trying to fight. He didn't feel the need to fight because he knew he could fight.
And also, if you looked at him, you wouldn't have assumed that.
You wouldn't have even known. So this guy who's big and he doesn't know idea how to fight. He's strong because he plays football. He's popular, but he has no idea how to defend him. He has to be aggressive. He has to boast and has to be that. Keep up with this facade that he's a big bad D1 player when there's monsters out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people who don't have that experience of like fighting will back away because they think the barking is the bite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Real dogs I've been bit by maybe 3 dogs in my life. None of those dogs have barked before they bit me.
They just bit you.
They just bit me.
It's one of
Same.
it's one of the things that I know that like my dad always teaches, and is that it's the person that's quiet that you always have to be worried about because
He's cold and
even,
calculated.
Good tactics 101.
I mean, it's even growing up, like because my dad, he was a world champion fighter, like nasty. Still to this day, he's ridiculous. He's hopefully 10th degree soon, but 8th degree black belt. He's been doing this for 50 years, and like he was a monster on his tournament circuit, and it's literally to the point where when he started teaching us, he's like, man, I pray that you guys never have to use this. Like, I pray. And it's like, we didn't really understand. And then it took me sometimes to understand, like, man, I understand that, like, that sincere prayer because it's like, I could kill somebody.
With your hands.
Like take a life. And it was to a point where it's like, even in incidents where I almost got into a fight, it was such a humbling thing. Like, hey, I really don't want to fight you. And it's like, oh, well, you know, you scared. I'm like, I really, because I don't know how to fight with rules. You know, I don't know how to fight with rules. So like, and it's, you know, you tell this to somebody, it's like, oh man, you know, you think you, I'm like, man, look, if there's any way possible, but it's like, I was scared, like for
That
me
you
as
could really hurt
myself
somebody.
and I was going to be able to, because that's all we train. So it's a real thing. Yeah. The quietness, the trying to be humble and not aggressive. But no, the people that bark the loudest is like, oh, well, you ain't gonna be the one.
Person that's quiet is
You're
cold
not
and
gonna be fighting
calculated.
for long.
You know, for me, all you guys had your reasons. Mine was like through high school. It wasn't about me feeling isolated or being knocked out because I'd already felt isolated. Like I just felt like things were gonna get worse. Me being one of the only few dudes from the West Side going to a school that was basically East Side High. Like, and then as I became an adult and knowing like it really got. I want to say I don't know if it's better or worse because now the whole East Side West Side thing don't bother me. It's just, I'm gonna go to jail for a night and that's it. I'm gonna go back home.
Where were you going?
I don't get what you said. What
Yeah,
are you
I didn't
talking
get it
about?
either.
Wait, what happened?
Your fear of fighting?
Yeah.
Or-
Like,
Oh, so
Oh.
you're saying like you're as you're older, it's not even a fight that you're afraid of, like or the
it's
repercussions.
like if
It's not
something's
that
gonna
big of a
happen, it's gonna
deal.
happen. Like
Okay.
it's
well, hopefully at 30, niggas ain't out here fighting. You know.
I've been trying to fight